My name is Alice Hellard, and I live in High Point, North Carolina. I spent 33 years in the financial industry with a great career. And a number of years ago, God told me that He was calling me out of my career, and I was to change directions. 5 years ago, we began Pierce Ministries and Rehab Services Incorporated. So the career change along with ministry all went together. But a couple of years ago, things just seemed that they weren't moving in the direction that I thought they should move in. And in times of really seeking God and crying out to Him of what it was that He wanted me to do, as I went to Him, I heard Him tell me very plainly, I want you to go to college. And I simply said, God, do you know how old I am? Which I was pretty sure He did know. And the only college that He told me that I was to go to was Laurel University. And I was to major in Christian counseling. At the time, I didn't live in High Point. I was running a ministry somewhere else. Didn't know how God was going to have me do this. But I went online and I put in an application to Laurel University and was accepted. And in June of 2011, I began my college career. What I didn't know when I began is that God would soon be moving the ministry to High Point. And so I became a Laurel student in June of 2011 and actually moved to High Point in August. I did my first 2 classes online, and the rest of my classes have been on campus. I am preparing to graduate in May with my Christian counseling degree, and then we'll move on to the master's world with that, all while running a ministry. And I see how those things tie together. So my time at Laurel has been absolutely amazing, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. What I have learned is that God has so much more for us, even from an academic standpoint. I'm not athletic. I don't do anything like that, but I love academics, and I love to learn. It's not always easy, but I have learned more in the past 2 years than I could have learned in many, many years trying to figure things out on my own. I am extremely grateful for the time that I've had at Laurel University, not only from an academic standpoint, but from a ministry standpoint, from the people that I have met, being able to come together on a regular basis as an extended family. It's incredible to watch the gentlemen who come through Pierce Ministries as they see the education that I have been getting and hear their desire for an education. One of our men graduated from our program in January, but he had already become a student at Laurel last August and is a sophomore at Laurel, majoring in Christian ministry. So there's preparation that goes on. While God's been preparing me, God's been preparing men. So if there's anything that I could say, seek God first. And when God says, I want you in this place for such a time as this, don't hesitate. You do your part, because Laurel University is going to do their part. And you will never, ever regret the time that you have here learning, getting an education, and being more prepared to walk in the path that God has for you. We often seem to think that we're too old to learn. Or we often seem to think as we're younger that there's nothing else for us to learn. Maybe sometimes we don't want to learn. At no point in our lives should we ever have a desire to stop learning. At Laurel University, you have the perfect opportunity to learn. In that learning process, you learn to grow. When you grow, you don't become stagnant. You keep walking through life. See, God wants you to learn. God wants you to grow because He has the desire for you to have an impact on the world around you. Maybe your world is small. Maybe your world is large. Regardless of the size of it, in God's plan and purpose, you will impact someone. So when you consider college options, would you consider Laurel University? With us, you will learn, you will grow, and you will impact your world for Jesus. Never stop learning, growing, and